Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Devishish, a Salesforce architect with a focus on financial services cloud. And today we are diving into a topic I get asked about a lot: how to optimize and make the activity timeline more flexible and powerful for day-to-day use. Now, let's be real. While the standard activity timeline, which looks something like this, is a really good starting point, but there are a few key limitations that can seriously impact productivity and visibility for advisors, agents, and relationship managers. So you cannot sort this timeline, first of all, by using custom date fields. You are kind of limited to being only able to sort using created date or due date. Again, there is no way to search within this timeline. So when um, there are multiple activities such as tasks, events, calls, which are related to a household, this timeline can get very cluttered, which is really frustrating when one of the advisor or relationship manager is looking to find a critical note or a call. The standard timeline doesn't just allow you to anyways search for a particular activity that you're looking for, which is related to this household. Now, the timeline only shows you a limited number of fields. So it only shows you description, or it would only show you subject in there. You do not have flexibility to add in more fields from the task object so that you can gather more critical information in there. And then finally, you cannot see any related records such as opportunities or cases in the timeline, which might be crucial for some of the clients that you are working with to understand the full picture. Now, Salesforce did try to solve some of these issues with Activity Timeline tool, which a lot of you might be familiar with. So in the setup, there is a way that you can set up timeline and you can expose this timeline on the Lightning record pages, which kind of comes up like this, which helps you to sort it using custom date fields, or you can filter the records which you want to show on the timeline view. But a very big limitation over there is that it doesn't show you archived tasks or events in that case. And if you're working with a large org, which means that there's a massive chunk of historical data which would be missing. Now again, this is still not searchable, which kind of limits its utility for relationship-driven roles such as managers or advisors who want to quickly advise on the basis of past activities to their clients. So what can we do in this situation? Is there really a better way? I have come across a very powerful component, which is a managed package that Salesforce Labs has worked on, which kind of overcomes a lot of these limitations. So let's review that. So it's called Salesforce Labs Timeline LWC. Now, this is a Lightning Web component. Again, it's a managed package, but it gives you a lot of customizability, which is not available in the standard component. It allows you to do custom sorting. You can also do this custom sorting using any custom date field, um, or any other field. Let's say even if you create a custom completed date field, you can also do it using that. It comes with a search bar. Again, it has a very familiar UI to the standard component. It comes with a search bar. You can control the record types of the tasks or the events or call logs or emails, whatever it is, which are created through these custom action buttons. You can control everything like that. And then it allows you to do search using the search bar. So you can technically search your records and you can find out whatever you are looking for to give a quick turnaround to your client in those relationship driven roles, such as an advisor or relationship manager. You can configure again to show multiple fields. So, for example, over here, there are multiple fields which are being shown for a record, which is appearing on the timeline. You can also show a box in there, a checkbox, which allows you to quickly complete a task. Let's say if you are working with a task, and then it also allows you to pull in other related objects such as opportunities or cases so that it becomes very useful for you if you're looking at what are the related um, events or tasks or activities or opportunities or cases which have been opened for a particular household. Finally, this is, I believe, one of the most important point of this LWC. It allows you to add in custom logics through Apex class, which means that you can also include archive activities if you build it in the right way, either using, a SOQL query inside the Apex class and then referencing that Apex class in the configuration of this particular component. By the way, this component gives you custom object for configuration. So that you can configure everything using that. Um, and it gives you also this particular link, which I'll include in the video. We'll also discuss how to configure this particular component. So you have this timeline configuration, which you can use, and then there's a timeline child object wherein you can define which um, related object records you want to bring inside the timeline. Now, this is where you can specify what are the fields you want to display, what subject you want to display in there, what subtitle you want to display in there, what type of icons you want to use, and all of those settings are present in this custom object, which is timeline child object. And then over here, you can also define a provider class. And using that provider class, you can define, if you want to bring in the archive tasks, you can bring those in. I'll give samples of some of the Apex classes that I've used. You can use that as a starting point, and then you can configure this component more to your client's specific use cases. If you are dealing with large volumes of activity data and want to give your users a real timeline experience, I would highly recommend this component might be exactly what you're looking for. Again, as always, feel free to drop a comment below if you'd like a demo or if you want a code walkthrough of this demo. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more real world Salesforce FSC tips. Thank you so much.